Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. A brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. This is a very special video and a very unique video. I'm going to openly talk about my extent of grind over the years since I started playing the game to the point where I am now, because a lot of things have changed in my life and the amount of time that I'm able to grind out the game has changed dramatically. And it's important to kind of give people an idea about the extent of grind that I did back in the day to get as far as I could, and also then the extent of grinding I do now to then balance the things like owning my own house, lifestyle, as well as the fact that I've got to see relatives away from where I live, and well, general busyness with YouTube. This video may serve as a balancing guide so you can balance stuff in your life. Now, it's very difficult for people that do school, have coursework, homework, people that work obviously, and other lifestyle commitments will mean that you may need to balance things around, and following what I do on a daily basis may be a good pointer and helping you out, but to other people you may be either unemployed, be a full-time YouTuber and able to game for a living. I myself have not reached that stage and I'm still going to work Monday through to Friday. So let's answer the question of how much do I play Marvel Contest of Champions per day, and we need to take you back in time. So back in the day, back in 2015, early 2015, when I wasn't doing YouTube for these kind of videos or even the game, I was covering other games later on, I did this here. This was my structure per day. So I'd wake up at about 7 o'clock, I'd then do some AQ, and then about 7:30 I'd leave the house and go to work. Between 7:30 and 8 AM, as I was doing my walk to work, I would grind out arena. This was just the 2-star arena. And then I would, wait until I had my break and then do a little bit of AQ or whatever there was. I think at the time I wasn't in an alliance in the early days, so therefore I was grinding out arena to get battle chips and also crystals in order to spin out. Hence why I think 2 odd years down that I'm able to get max signatures on 2 stars now. It took a while for that to happen. Between 4:30 and 5 PM, when I then got home from work on that journey, I was then grinding out arena and maybe some questing. Between 6:30 and 11:30 at night, I was just blitzing whatever I could, meaning that back in the day, before I moved out, before I got into a very serious relationship, I was grinding 7 hours a day, and this was kind of then same with the weekends, except for I was largely breaking at the weekends and going and hanging about with friends, or I was on World of Tanks, which was a good game that I really like playing, or actually mostly I was spending time with my girlfriend. So that's how things are. If I didn't have a girlfriend and maybe a couple of other life changes or choices, I may have been grinding out this game a lot more, or I would be grinding out another game a lot more, or doing YouTube. But then after that, everything sort of changed. So in about August of 2015, I started doing YouTube. I wasn't known, I had no subscribers, and it was a pretty kind of vacant or distant idea that I could actually make any kind of success for it. So what I did was I did the odd video here and there, and moved out and bought my own property in October of 2015, not actually getting into the house until November 2015. Amongst that time, a lot of stuff was done to the house and I didn't really record much content. Went in for an operation at the end of December, so I didn't really kind of play the game that much, and everything really kind of changed for me with regards to grind, time I spent with my girlfriend, time I spent kind of doing up the house, and started 2016 as being the big changes. Around March time of 2016 was when I got my, I'd say, big break. YeetOS featured me in one of his videos and talked some very kind words, and obviously I hold a lot of respect for this guy because he gave me a platform and a chat, and hopefully I've not let him down and let the community down, as he was so kind to let me in. The next thing is then the structure of my playing changed as well when I returned back from work after recovering from the operation. So whereas before I was grinding the game out 7 hours a day, obviously based on the fact that I now did YouTube a bit more because I was like, man, I've got 100 subscribers, I'm going to try and push this a little bit harder. And did. It meant that a lot of rebalancing around what I grinded out at what time was needed. Our house also needed doing up, and I wanted to spend a bit more time with my girlfriend, as well as going visiting family more often, which I now do. So the structure looked like this. Mondays to Wednesdays, it was 7 AM to 7:15 AM was grinding out alliance questing. And then during a break, I do some more alliance questing through the day. About 20 minutes on that one. The next thing is then doing an hour's worth of arena and questing grind when I got home from work. And then light playing whilst I was making and recording content between 7 PM and 10 PM. Now, and this is what is happening now, 10 PM to 11:30 PM, I live stream arenas, either Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, or I drop back a day to record something. But it is a case, I'm just going to do the average as being 3 hours and 35 minutes grinded Monday to Wednesday each day, giving a total of 10 hours and 45 minutes. On Thursdays, things change a little bit because I've got a very hectic day, but I like to have a break from Marvel Contest of Champions and play as less as possible. I still grind the necessary things with regards to questing, so the Alliance quest in the morning, we then do a bit of the break, work, and then after work there's a bit of arena grinding just to kind of top up things like battle chips, as well as do those questing bits essential for Alliance participation, like Alliance questing, dual skirmishes and Alliance quests, those kind of things, vitally important. And at the end of the day, I like to, just before I go live for a live stream of World of Tanks, then put in about 15 minutes in Alliance quest if it's on. If it's not, then I will just then get straight into playing World of Tanks, because that's my day of rest from everything Marvel Contest of Champions related. And we're looking at a 1 hour and 35 minute grind time for Thursdays. Fridays follow a similar pattern with most of the other days, so we were looking at an Alliance quest in the morning, the 20 minutes for the break, the 1 hour when I get back just to kind of top up regards to questing and stuff like that, make sure I'm using that energy. And then in the evening between editing, same thing applies as Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, where I'd like to play for a little bit whilst the videos render or I'm making videos. It's just like handy again to top up stuff with regards to totals, unless I'm particularly grinding something out in arena, and I'm trying to put as much effort as possible. The weekend is where I get to do the most grinding of the game. And on Saturday, I like to put in the morning about 2 hours into various different things. So it could be Alliance quest, a little bit of questing here or there, a lot of arena, that's vitally important, especially again if I'm looking to get something. And that is kind of mixed around. In the morning, I like to do an hour, I just wake up, it's a chill day, don't have to rush for work or do work at all. And then it's straight to do, we do a bit of shopping, that kind of thing. But then come back, do some housework, relax, play another hour. And then later on in the evening, after a nice meal, just sit down and play about a couple of hours while watching a movie. Perfect. Altogether for that day, we're looking at a 4-hour grind. But on Sunday, I like to increase it a little bit more as well, because I like to do the crystal splash, stash, used to be cornucopia, whatever it is. It's a good way of getting a few extra prem crystals and can help to add totals when it comes to me doing my videos. So on Sunday morning, a bit of a mixture, start off with a bit of arenaing. And then after that, we're looking at a couple of hours here or there, depends if I go out for the day. And then the next thing is then in the evening, as we said, I like to do those crystal events, get those crystal shards. Like I said, very good for videos. You can get up to, I'd say, 6 prems from doing it if you're lucky with placement as well, and I do shoot for a good placement with there. So this gives me an average grind time per week of 24 hours and 40 minutes. For some people, they will say, wow, that's a lot of time, but a lot of kind of hardcore grinders will kind of go, well, that's not really that much, Rich, and really they're right. In order to make a real impact in the game at the start point, if we went back to my old kind of grind time, if we'd say for 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, I was doing 7 hours, then we're looking at 35 hours a week. If I then probably said about, we could add on to that total a further 5 hours, it's like 40 hours a week. I felt that I was making an impact at a very early stage to get somewhere in the game. And if I did it now, I'd probably say that I'd be getting some kind of further with the game, extensive amount of arena grind, plus the fact of doing event questing, and coupled in with a few other things that come on, special things. That would probably be the best way to go to get 40 hours in solid. I can really say that now with the stuff that you require with regards to resource, 40 hours seems to be the best way to go. I guess people are probably going to wonder, did I ever buy units in order to kind of help myself progress in the game? And the answer is yeah. I bought units, I think, to help my masteries, because masteries were so expensive and I found that I wasn't making as much impact. A lot of the units back in the day were used on featured crystals in order to make YouTube content on, which obviously is a disappointment because I probably should have used those units for masteries. However though, I didn't really think that I'd have any success with YouTube. So I thought, well, I'll start doing some featured, you know, and see how it goes. And things turned out the way they did. But if I was looking for a return for buying unit packs now for spinning featured, I'd be a friggin' moron. Based on the fact of cost. Now, it's something that I've always said on the channel. The cost of units is too high, and they got a lot higher. I mean, I could cope with the price back in the day, but you know, now they're just insane. So if Kabam ever lowered them, I'm sure that people would buy them more and look to kind of improve their roster with featured crystals, or even the featured kind of pull rate improved. It would make things a little more advertising to people, but at the moment that's just a pipe dream. With regards to my future plans for grinding, hopefully one day I could do YouTube full time, and it would mean that I would need to game more. That probably means that I would go back to grinding the game about 40 hours a week, and I would feel that I would have made a difference. Obviously doing YouTube and other things does mean that my time will have to be, for the time being, that 18 hours and 20 minutes stated, and it's just only luck if I get that up to that 20 hours, but that is the most that I'm willing to go. And so that being said, let's find out from you guys. Obviously with my level of grind, how much do you grind the game out, and do you feel you make a difference? Because that's one thing that's vitally important. You don't want to feel you're tied to one game in order to make progress, and sometimes I feel this game does. So let me know in the comments below. Do you feel that the time that you are grinding the game, are you making a difference? Are you happy with it? And how much time do you do a week? Thanks very much for watching this video. If you found it helpful or enjoyable, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content, including lots of guides and fun information and stuff. And yeah, I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.